I'm here with Justin Fox from Time Magazine, who has been watching very closely what the outlook for the world economy is according to the people here in Davos. You were in on a panel that included
Trevor Manuel, the finance minister of South Africa, Steve Roach, the Asia chairman of Morgan Stanley, Farron something or other, who's a big businessman in Turkey, Justin Lin, the chief economist of the World Bank, Heizo Takanaka from Japan, an economist and former cabinet minister. It was a Time World Economic Forum CNBC joint thing.
So pretty economic heavyweights.
Yes.
And you spent, after the panel, you spent a lot of time thinking about it and writing about it for Time Magazine.
It was a thrill.
And what was the outlook? Were we all done for?
It was funny. There was really almost, the discussion of the outlook took about 5 or 10 minutes. It's bad. And then there was some disagreement about whether, would China still be able to grow faster than 7% or not. But the general consensus was this year is going to be really horrible for the global economy. And so the discussion moved on pretty quickly to, so how do we make things better? And it was this interesting thing where there was a lot of criticism, especially Trevor Manuel was brilliant and very acerbic, criticizing the big Western countries and their stimulus plans, because his feeling is, because they're being done in this sort of uncoordinated manner and not involving emerging markets, that they're going to be a big waste of money. I mean, his big complaint is because all the Western economies and Japan are borrowing huge amounts of money to run these stimulus plans, it's impossible for emerging economy governments to borrow any money at all right now. So it's making things worse rather than better, at least from the perspective of South Africa.
Okay, and what about the outlook for more developed countries?
It was interesting. The discussion kept coming back to emerging markets. I mean, basically,
so everyone was concerned about emerging markets because they're just facing this punitive.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was this feeling, oh, this is kind of unfair. Part of it was basically, if you're looking, I mean, people have been talking about what are the long-term growth engines. Well, it's not Europe, it's not the US, it should be Brazil, China, India, etc. And so the feeling right now is you've got a situation in global financial markets which is actually making life even harder for those countries than it is for the US, then that's a little perverse.
Okay, so maybe a wake-up call for people coming from the US. If you think you've got it bad, at least you're not facing.
I mean, but the funny thing is, of course, there was no one from the U.S. government there. Larry Summers was supposed to be on the panel, but he had to cancel, and basically nobody in any decision-making authority from Washington seems to be coming because, for good reason, they're kind of busy this week. And I think this happens to a certain extent at Davos every 4 years, definitely every 8 years if you have a totally new administration. But it makes the discussions a little weird because a lot of it is about what the U.S. ought to do, and basically the U.S. decision-makers aren't here to hear it.
Okay, but do you think the message will get out?
I'm sure everyone in the White House reads my blog, so yeah. Exactly. And yours as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Justin.
All right.